Comic talk, they're funny to me. 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 It's time for Comic Talk, where comedians talk about comedy and all things funny. Here's your host, Damon M. Cherry. Comic Talk, they're funny to me. Comic Talk, they're funny to me. What's up, people? What's up, world? What's going on? It's your boy, Damon M. Cherry, and we are live right here on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube with the all-new show Comic Talk, where comedians talk about comedy and all things funny. Man, I want to thank everybody who's listened to the first three shows. You know what I'm saying? We had great guests. We had my man Willie Brown. We done had my man Tony Llewellyn, Tony Tone. And last week we had a group of comedians from right here in Columbus. We had my man Mark Faison, Walt Berger, comedian Salad. So I appreciate y'all guys for coming on last week, man. Just like any other show, tonight's going to be a great show. Got a comedian, Chinnita Morris. Y'all may know her as a.k.a. Chocolate from BET's Def Comedy Jam. HBO's Def Comedy Jam, BET's Comic View, as well as many a host of other shows. But she's going to be on. I'm waiting for her to click on now. I don't know if she has a problem with the link or whatever, but until then, we'll just be here. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give a shout out to everybody that's on now. Let's see if we got anybody in the comments or anything. No comments or nothing yet. But I want y'all to like, tag, and share the show on your page. You can go to my page, Damon M. Cherry, and like, tag, and share. And got my man Madden Miller Jr. on Big Boo. Happy birthday, big dog. I know today your birthday. I know you're 27 today. So happy birthday to you. So make sure y'all like, tag, and share the show. Come on. Before we go to the Father, man, we're still praying for our fellow comedian Jamie Foxx. We know he's getting better. You know, we know he's under great care. So, you know, we're praying for Fox, hoping he's getting for his well wishes and well coming. We know he'll be back in the game doing his thing, because that's a triple threat right there, man. Comedian, actor, singer. So, you know, much love, praying for Jamie Foxx and his family. Get my man Willie Brown on. Willie Brown, what's going on, man? Y'all make sure y'all connect with my man Willie Brown. Willie Brown trying to help a brother make some money, but I need some money to make some money. But I'm coming with you, Willie. You know what I'm saying? You know I rock with you. So that's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? We got the Living on Laughter conference coming up, y'all. If y'all haven't registered, make sure y'all go register for the Living on Laughter Gospel Comedy Association One Love Comedy Conference. If you don't know anything about this conference, it's a great conference for Christian comedians. But this year, I think we're opening it up to all comedians. Just, you know, where you can get better with your comedy. You know, there's like empowerment sessions and one-on-one networking. And man, it's great, man. I've been a part of the organization since I went to my first one in 2013, I believe it's 2013. And I've been connected and going there since. I missed one. I missed Charlotte, but other than that, I think it was 2015. I missed that one. And shout out to all my people here in Columbus, Ohio, who keep getting their cars stolen, man. I know someone who's got their they got a Kia, you know, the Kia boys and the Hyundai boys and all them. They've gotten their car stolen twice. So, you know, if you got a Kia or Hyundai, you know, here in Columbus, you can just go to. I know the Hilliard Police Department is doing it. So go up to the Hilliard Police Department and get your free steering wheel lock, man. Or go on Amazon and get this one that I got that locks totally into your car, into the seatbelt. So you take it through the through your steering wheel hose, and then it's got a click that clicks into the seatbelt. So, you know, they can't get in there. I got a Hyundai Genesis, so, you know, I'm gonna do my best to make sure they don't get me. My car actually get fixed this Thursday, because I never parked my car in front of the house. So I decided one day to park my car in front of the house, and somebody smashed me in the back, man. I mean, me and my fiance was in here knocked out, and all we heard was a loud thump. So, you know, you sleep 2:30 in the morning, you ain't thinking nothing about it. We went back to sleep. We're like, man, that was a loud thump. So I get ready to go out the next morning, go to work. I go to work at like 5 o'clock. So I get outside, taking the trash out. I pull the trash can and I turn around and see, man, that was my car that got thumped. So, you know, and it took a month. You know, being that I got a Genesis, you know, it's taking almost a month to get the parts to come in and all that. So my parts will be here Thursday, and my car's going in. Hopefully they don't total it out. So I had a couple of cars get totaled off for less damage. So we'll see what happens. So that's what's going on, man. But I was talking about the Living on Laughter conference. So since I'm talking about, hey, there she go.
Been here, dude. What's going on?
Well, you just popped on the bottom of my screen where I can bring you in.
Okay.
Wow, you're so well lit. Your background is awesome.
Oh, I'm working it out. Trust me. If I scan just a little bit to the right, it's a mess because I'm in my messy room.
Well, that beautiful voice.
Like 5 minutes.
5 minutes. But that beautiful voice y'all hearing right there is my good friend, or as she signed my book, my fake best friend. Yeah, y'all may know her from all the famous comedy shows, you know what I'm saying? But I know her from she sold me my house. She's doing realty now. House I'm living in. She sold me this. She's big in realty now. Always been big in comedy, you know what I'm saying? Got the world's biggest smile. The whitest teeth. I don't know how her teeth are so white. Got the whitest teeth, you know what I'm saying? I need that dentist, my teeth are white.
No, I wish mine was. You see them people with them neon white teeth.
Yeah. Oh, well, those people. They got the what's the thing? The veneers. Those are veneers. If your teeth is that white, those are veneers.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, mine. I wish mine was whiter.
Well, that voice y'all heard, that's Miss Chinnita Morris, aka Chocolate. Do you still like the people call you Chocolate, or is that still that?
Well, the ones that still call me Chocolate are just people that God is allowing me to see how disobedient they are in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Because he said, man, I sent her back to her government name.
Okay.
but it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me.
Chinnita sounds like that could be a flavor of chocolate. Chinnita chocolate.
Chocolate. You can call me Latte.
There you go. She's also a graduate of HBCU as well as I am. She's a graduate of Winston-Salem. Winston-Salem State University, or is it just Winston-Salem University?
Winston-Salem State University, where me and my daughter are alumni there. But my daughter will be graduating from North Carolina Central University on next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday. So we're geeked about that.
Okay. And does North Carolina got the most black colleges?
Yeah, I do believe that North Carolina has the most HBCUs.
Yeah, but we know that there's really only one great HBCU. That's the Kentucky State University. You know what I'm saying?
Kentucky State University is a HBCU?
Yeah, Kentucky State, yeah.
Oh, well, obviously not the best.
What?
You say Kentucky, and we automatically assume,
The Kentucky State, see, you know what I'm saying? We got the D in front of us like Ohio State got D.
Oh, okay, it's the Kentucky State. Yeah.
That's what separates us from Kentucky.
Yeah, y'all reaching. Y'all trying to make it be something it's not. But hey, we love y'all anyway. We love you anyway. But I don't remember y'all. I don't remember the Kentucky State University winning any CIAAs or.
Because we're not in the CIAA.
What are you guys?
We were when I was in school. We was in the NAIA. I don't know what they're in now. I don't know what they are now. I don't even think the NAIA is even anymore.
Yeah, that means not in anything. That's what that means. That means not in anything.
Yeah, well, I'll put you like this about Kentucky State. If you know, you know. If you don't, you know.
Yeah, well, I obviously don't know. So, but yeah, HBCUs in the house.
Most definitely.
We are one.
Well, I will say one thing about Kentucky State before we go on with the show. We got number 5 out of most money raised from Home Depot this year. From the where Home Depot was giving all the black colleges money, we was the number 5 HBCU to get the most money this year.
Get the most money?
Yeah.
Well, they probably were looking at the schools that needed it the most. So I'm glad y'all got some money.
Yeah,
I'm glad y'all got
yeah,
somebody.
we're not like the big universities, Winston-Salem State, where, you know what I'm saying, our alumni give more than $10 a month, you know what I'm saying?
Wait, my camera moved, my junk is showing, look. So yeah, let me move on.
You got a nice background. You got your nice pictures on the back, you know what I'm saying? Your fedoras on the wall, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, those are my daughters. Those are my daughters. I gotta find me one that fit my head. You know, now that I don't have any hair, they wobble on my head, so I gotta find one that's got the little baby head.
So what's been going on with you?
Just doing my thing. I just came from the gym, as you can see. And so I had to make it do what it do. I normally would have stayed longer, but I say, oh, I have a commitment to Demon, and
Well, that's the same as I call me Demon D. So
right, demand, yeah.
So let's start it this way. How does comedy start for you? How does comedy start for Chinnita Morris?
Comedy starts for Chinnita Morris when Chinnita, can't even say my name. It's a tongue twister. I haven't gotten it out all these years. When Chinnita Morris graduated from Winston-Salem State University, she took a job straight out of college in Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
Hated her job, hated Baltimore, packed her car with everything she owned one day, went to work, worked until lunchtime, got that check, and hit 95 South and never looked back. Moved to Atlanta, Georgia. I already had great aspirations to be in the entertainment industry. And so when I get to Atlanta, I'm going through the yellow pages already looking for a comedy club because I wanted to do some comedy. And couldn't find no clubs that would let me on stage. You know, everybody was, and you know, back then it was really only the white clubs. They were the people that had the clubs. So they're asking for videotapes. And I'm like, well, where am I going to get a videotape if I can't get on stage? You know? So happened upon this new club that had just opened up in Atlanta called the Comedy Act Theater. Comedy Act Theater had already been up and running for 3 years in LA. And it was Mike Williams was the one who pioneered the first Black comedy club in America. And it was in LA. Robin Harris was the host. And, you know, and so they opened, it was doing so well that they opened one in Atlanta. And 3 months later, I happened upon it, which they had only been open 3 months. And so I called to see if I could get on stage. They was like, hey, you got 2 weeks to prepare. So I'm not a cusser. I've never been a cusser. And so I thought all comedians had to cuss. I thought you had to cuss to be a comedian. So I practiced cussing in the mirror. I practiced for 2 weeks. I practiced cussing. But when I got on stage, it didn't come out. And it didn't come out because it wasn't natural. But I still had a great set, my little 5 minutes. And hey, after that, I had to do comedy from that day forward. I mean, when I say I had to do comedy, I had just graduated college, and I was like, the job I was working that I finally found in Atlanta was trying to make me a manager. I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it because I'm committed to this over here. I wasn't even getting paid to do comedy. Right. So look, I got to be off work every day by 6 because I got to get to the comedy club. That's just how it was. We were just smitten with it back then. You were at the club every day.
So see there you go. Oh, I thought you froze for a second.
No, I ain't froze.
Oh yeah, well, hey, you had the froze face. You. I was like, there she go with that Winston-Salem internet, you know.
No, yeah, well, it ain't the best here, but I'm not doing no, what do you call it? No endorsements, no advertising for
Right.
for the internet. But yeah, yeah. So it was great. I mean, my first night, the first show I ever did, first night I ever stepped on stage. Angela Means, most people know her as from
Was she in the house
Friday
party? Was she in
uh,
one of
by
the house?
Felicia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, most people know her. Well, she was first person to ever bring me on stage. And Jonathan Slocum opened the show when the real show started, because they gave like three of us amateurs, they gave us 5 minutes apiece. And so Jonathan Slocum opened the real show when they finally started. And then it was Jamie Foxx was the middle,
Oh wow.
and DL Hughley was headlining that night.
So you came out big, yeah.
Well, no, they weren't actually. They were not big names at the time.
Right.
They had been doing comedy, I think, themselves at that time, maybe 3 or 4 years themselves. And it was shortly after that Jamie Foxx got the Living Color deal. Yeah, so they hadn't made it big at that time yet either, but they were big names on the Chitlin circuit at the time.
Right. And then from their first appearance, how long before the TV appearances and
Probably about a year and a half.
okay.
Probably about a year and a half. Yeah. I came in at a time where Black comedy was exploding, because when I first started, probably about 6 months later, maybe not even that long, the first Def Comedy Jam came
Right.
out. And I'm looking at it like, I can do that. I think all of us were. And sure enough, the next when they were doing the next round of comedians, Bob Sumner came, and we all had to go on stage and do our little audition.
Right.
And praise God, I got chosen, and it blew up from there.
Right. So being a female comedian again, like what kind of struggles did you have like early on, and are you still having those type of struggles now? Do you see the difference now in the
I don't.
level?
It's a male dominated industry, and of course, when we were doing it back in the day, of course, you had some serious struggles, because I was one of the ones who had TV appearances, and you get TV appearances, and your rates go up,
Right.
and I was getting them back to back. And so the comedy club is paying me less than they paying some of these fellas over here that don't have no TV appearance. And people are coming in asking to see me. And it's just so happened one night we all talking, and I find out these dudes are making more than I'm making it. So I decided to boycott. I'm like, okay, guess what? I'm not going on your stage no more. And so it made me grind harder to get more stages other than where I was working constantly. And people were coming in and asking for me, and I'm like, I'm not doing nothing until they up my pay. And so you had to take those kinds of stands in order to be heard, and to let them know, it may hurt me a little bit, but it's going to hurt you too, because people are asking to see me, and you're not, I'm not going up because you're not paying me right.
Right. So now you're at the pinnacle. I mean, you doing all the TV shows, you're getting booked. So when and how does your faith kick in and you decide you want to take another route with the comedy?
1998. 1998. I'm not sure what the date was. I just know that yeah, everything was great. Life was great. Had no issues, Um, and my daughter, she had a nanny, and her nanny took her to church with her a lot. My daughter was maybe two at the time. And so my nanny would take her to church with her, and she would take her to Bible study. So that day it was a Bible study, and I was picking my daughter up from the Bible study, because Wednesdays was my day to go get my hair hooked up. And so after that, I would pick my child up, and they had installed a new pastor. And I'm standing in the vestibule waiting on the nanny to bring my baby to me, and I'm listening to the pastor, and he he made a statement that only what you do for Christ is going to last.
Mm.
And I don't know, it was just something that pierced my spirit and wouldn't let me go. It wouldn't let me go. And I'm like, okay. So when I get my daughter and I get in the car, I sit there for a minute. I'm like, okay, so what does that mean? You know, only what you do for Christ is going to last. And, you know, it was like, I was like talking to God, you know, just sitting in my car, like, okay, I do a good thing. I make people laugh for a living, you know. And God spoke to my spirit and was like, yeah, but you don't do it for my glory. Now I'm unchurched, so I don't know what doing anything for his glory meant. Now I was a praying woman, been praying since I was a little bitty girl, always read my Bible. So I thought I had a pretty good relationship with God. I was one of those people who felt like, you know, I'm not the worst person in the world. You know, if I keep 8 or 9 of these commandments, surely I got a place in heaven. I'm unchurched, so this is my ignorance. I didn't realize, you know, what God required of us. And so I thought I was a good person. Thought, you know, you be a good person. You ain't killing nobody. You ain't stealing. You ain't doing foolishness. You know, you go to heaven when you believe in Christ as Savior and Lord. And I didn't realize that, you know, it's more to it than that. You can't just say you love the Lord. You can't just profess Christ. You have to, if you're going to profess him, if you're going to believe that he is who he says he is, then you do what he asks you to do. You don't get to do this on your own terms. And that's what I learned that night. And so, and that, you know, I asked the Lord, I said, if you show me how to do this, you know, I will do this the right way out. You know, I was convicted in my spirit. I thought I was doing it right. I had a Damascus experience is what that was. You know, I was zealous for God. If you look back at some of my BET before I got saved, I would say, you know, giving honor to God, you know, my Lord and Savior. But then I would go on to just talk some foolishness. And, you know, when you know better, you do better. And that night I gave my life to the Lord and decided I was going to live for him because I got revelation. You know, I got revelation that I wasn't doing it right. And when you get revelation, you do better.
Right. So what kind of fallback or feedback or comments are you getting from your peers in the game at this time?
I think everybody thought I fell off my rocker, you know, because you know, you giving all you're just gonna walk away. And I had friends. I never forget DC Curry said to me one day, he was like, well, can't you just be Chocolate on stage and you know, be Chinnita off stage? And I'm like, look, dude, if Chocolate going to hell, Chinnita is too. You know.
Right.
And so it don't work like that. And so I think they just thought I think that they thought I was going through a phase and I would be back.
Right.
Once I realized maybe it's not as good over there as it is over here. And I don't know what I thought. I just know that I love the Lord, and I misinterpreted a lot of things or misconstrued a lot of things. And now that I have revelation, I love him too much to turn back. And it may get hard. I did count up the cost. Now, that's one thing I did do. I counted up the cost before I made that commitment. And I decided, yeah, I'm going to live for God.
Right. And it's funny that you say you count up the cost, because as I was searching through Google trying to find a good bio to say some great words about you, I saw where it said Chinnita Morris, aka Chocolate, net worth, and it says over 20 million. So I was gonna try to get you on tonight and see can I maybe get a couple dollars from you.
Google, you know, they really need to. I never did make a 20 million even on that side, you know.
They clearly say your net worth is $20 million.
Wow. Yeah. I need to go. They need to send me that. They need to send me that like that. You know, it would be funny if we could sue for what they say.
Oh man. Yeah, because right now I think I'm worth 100,000. I got.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, I mean, it looks good on paper. It looks good. You know, it's funny because, you know, you have Google saying that you have this much.
Right.
It's funny because I had to do a background check on myself the other day, and you know, now I've done my diligence to live my life straight as an arrow. I have, and you know, I've gotten some traffic tickets here and there. And of course, I'm expecting maybe they will be on there. But man, I did not expect to see some of the stuff that I saw. And
was it you? Was it?
Dude, listen. I'm gonna tell you one of the things that got me. I was like, "Is this the right report?" look, I ain't never been that high. Now, what is this? So, one of the charges was prostitution. Prostitution. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
They probably was thinking chocolate prostitution. They probably was just thinking about going off the name with that one.
No, I will tell you what it is. And because I'm racking my brain trying to figure out why is this on my report. And it was about 10 things. And they were really old, but some of them were at times I didn't even live in North Carolina at the time. So I knew this wasn't me, and I had to think back, wait a minute. I have some family members that, you know, are out there pretty bad.
Right.
And guess whose name they used? So then I was heated. And I'm like, really?
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
I gotta shout out these folks we got on here, and then I got a couple of good comments for you. Got a shout out to my man Reggie Raffle. We got Michelle Van Dusen on there. What up, Michelle?
Hey, Michelle.
Yeah,
hey,
Margaret Williams, Donovan Price, Tanya Lewis,
Tanya, what's up,
man Dre Laughlin, Eldred Watkins, what's going on? Rainier Caldwell, what's going on, Blue? And then I'm gonna pull up this comment that June Von Colson, good friend, my Kentucky homie. She says, every time I hear Chinnita Moore's, sure I feel inspired and encouraged. By the way, her worth can't be measured. She's priceless.
Ooh, you know that June, she really knows how to make somebody feel like they are somebody.
That's how us Kentucky folks are, you know. And Tanya Lewis, comedian Tanya Lewis said, hello, sis.
Hey, girl, how you doing?
Good. So I'm gonna take a small break, and I'm gonna play this commercial. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about the book.
Wow.
Calling all comedians. Are you ready to see your comedy future more clearly? Are you ready to take your comedy to the next level? Do you want to learn how to incorporate comedy into your speeches, presentations, or ministry? Then the 2023 Living on Laughter One Love Comedy Conference is a time to refocus the vision for your gift. Join us October 5th through 7th at the Greater New Life Christian Fellowship, located at 4210 N Street, Triangle, Virginia. Be a part of amazing empowerment sessions, comedy showcases, an elegant awards gala, networking, and one-on-one mentoring opportunities. Register for this amazing conference at www.lolgca.com. That's www.lolgca.com. Please make this investment in yourself. We promise you won't regret it. It's the 2023 Living on Laughter One Love Comedy Conference, October 5th through 7th at the Greater New Life Christian Fellowship, 4210 N Street, Triangle, Virginia. I'll be there, will you? All right, and we are back right here on Comment Talk. I'm standing here with Chinnita Moore's.
20 million strong.
So now I got to ask you this. Now I'm almost willing to say I know the answer to this, but have you seen Monique's special?
I have not. No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I really was hoping that you had saw it, maybe bits and pieces of, so I can hear your opinion. Because me as a male comedian, I was done in 5 minutes.
Well, you know, I saw the reviews, and I have a hard time. And don't judge me. Don't be judging me. I don't like the cussing. That's just never been my thing. And I, you know, even when I was in the secular, you know, you kind of get immune to it at sometimes, you know, or what, not immune, but what do you call it? Desensitized to it or whatever. But I've been walking with the Lord for a long time now, and my spirit just don't sit well with, and then it keeps playing in my head if it's too much of that going on. And so when you hear uh Def Jam comedians and sinners saying, "Oh, she was just cussing too much."
Like, she clearly was practicing cussing in the mirror, like how you said.
No, she's been a pro at that for a while, so she didn't have to practice. But yeah, I knew that. No, don't even try it, because I mean, when you hear people who like to hear cussing saying, "No, she was cussing too much,"
right?
It wasn't even no need in me going there.
And what also got me within the 5 minutes that I saw was that I was out of all these years of seeing her do comedy and knowing about her comedy and all that, I never knew she was special ed. It was like she had a whole big old segment about being special ed. I was like, where did all this come from?
Wow. So, okay.
So yeah.
Wow.
She was like,
I know grew up in Baltimore, so but you know, a lot of us was probably supposed to be special ed.
I don't know. She talked about her wearing. She talked about her helmet and everything. So you know. So
I hope she was exaggerating with the helmet. But then, you know, with the shape of her head. Oh Lord, don't Chinnita shut up.
Right.
Cause look at my head. And no, I don't have alopecia. Praise God. Lord, see, I'm really. This is bubbly. I'm not drinking anything but water. It's just water. But I'm drinking stuff is just trying to jump out of my mouth like this. I don't talk like that.
Right. So I'm gonna ask you this question because I asked Tony Tone. I'm curious your thought on this. You know, since back in the day we had Def Comedy Jam, we had Comedy View, Showtime at the Apollo, shows like that. Now all these internet comedians are getting on now, with their followers and all that. And do you think the internet is the new Def Comedy Jam and the new Comedy View, or is it just one of them things? If you know how to use it, utilize it, and make the best of it. How do you? I guess basically, how do you feel about internet comedians?
I feel like, probably like the comedians who came before us did, before Def Jam came out, and they had been out there struggling and on the chitlin circuit all this time, and all of a sudden here come this new breed of comedians and this vehicle for them to get put on, and they blow up just like that. And we've been out here 30 years, trying to get by.
Right.
Probably, the way I see the internet comedians, I just see things coming full circle. This is their time, and this is their vehicle, and you can either take advantage of it or not. And some of us who are not tech savvy, we miss out unless we know how to hire somebody who can do that for us. But I just think that this is just a different vehicle. It's like a Def Comedy Jam,
right.
Or a BET, if you know how to utilize it. And I think that this is just their era, and this is how their era gets them out there. People, this new generation, they are internet generation.
Right.
Most people don't even watch regular TV like that. They're Netflix and chill, or Hulu or Prime. And so, or YouTube, Instagram. So either you know what you're doing or you don't. And kudos to them. But I think that at the same time, they miss out on the intimacy of being on a real stage. I've seen some comedians who are internet comedians, and they can kill the actual stage. They actually go on stage and rip. But I've seen a lot of them who they're great at doing the internet comedy and doing the skits and stuff, but they don't really have a show.
Right.
They don't do well with a live audience.
Right. So what kind of information would you give, say, a newbie female comedian coming in the game right now? What kind of information? Or
Get that stage time. That stage time is gonna make you, is gonna help you be everything you need to be in comedy. You
right.
know, but that's what counts. If that's for all of us, you know, you have to have that stage time. And you know, they getting paid just to get hits, you know, just to get likes and stuff. So I guess if you have it like that, it probably makes you a little lackadaisical to go out and do the road like we do. So I mean, yeah, if you're trying to get out there and hone those skills and, you know, be sharp, you want to be sharp, you want to be able to do the internet and the stage, you got to get on that stage.
So are you making it to the conference this year?
Oh, I absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I had so much fun last year. And I'm hoping to bring at least, I'm hoping to recruit at least 5 to 10 new comics who has never been, you know, to come and hang out with us as well.
I think I got so far 3 or 4 people that's
Yeah.
on the way coming from Columbus. So we're gonna see how that rolls.
Okay, good, good.
So now, comedian, realtor, and now let's talk about the book. You know, you like I said, I'm her fake best friend. So
Did you read the book?
I'm you know I was going to read an excerpt to where I left off at. So let me
What
see.
chapter would that be?
I am in chapter 10.
Okay, you
I'm on transparent. I'm transparent. I'm transparent right now.
oh, okay, okay. But yeah, y'all tickle me trying to do an interview on a book you haven't read the whole thing. But yeah, you're a good ways.
Don't ask me why.
You got about 8 more chapters, yes?
Yeah. I'm getting. Well, I told you when you signed it that you know what I'm
Oh yeah.
saying. I'm a very slow reader. You know.
So you see, like I said, a lot of us probably should have been in special ed.
Oh no, it ain't special. It's just, you know, if
Like I said, a
this
lot of
was
us
audio, I
probably
probably
should
been
have been
listening
in
to it 4 or
special ed.
5 times. If it was audio, I've been listening to it 4 or 5 times.
Like I said, a lot of us probably should have been in special ed. No, you just, you know, I you know, I don't know about that. Like I said, you know, being in Baltimore, I think Monique is she's I didn't see I didn't see her set, but she ain't special ed by
Right,
far.
that's the same thing I was saying. I was like, wow.
Yeah, she ain't special ed by far.
So don't ask me why I thought I had to deserve it for it to happen. The devil doesn't need a reason, but he does have to have permission from God when you're a child of God. And that's what I wanted to know. God, did you allow this? Why? What did I do? Was I a child of God's? Was
Mm.
was I a child of God's? Was never a question in my mind before. I think we got a little typo right here. But I will admit
No.
it crossed my mind when this started happening. It was shut down quickly though. I knew with everything in me who I was and whose I was, which only made this situation that much more baffling. I did my diligence to live my life holy and pleasing unto God, and this came out of left field and knocked me off my feet. I knew this wasn't me and that I didn't want no parts of this. And the best way to combat the enemy was to confess my faults to someone who could intercede for me and hold me accountable. I was willing to do whatever I needed to do to get this off of me. I just read from the critically acclaimed Winston Salem's #1 seller.
I don't live in Winston-Salem.
Well, Winston Salem State University's #1 seller. I think they're teaching it in the class up here, the gracefully broken class. One of the teachers, gracefully broken, wonderfully restored. So how does being an author come about? What makes you sit there and be like, I gotta get my life story into words?
Truthfully, I knew I wanted to be an author. I knew I wanted to tell my story, my life story. But truthfully, that story had to come before I could write anything else.
Right.
That story, I had to get that off my chest. I had to be, yeah. And I did that book for a number of reasons. For one, I wanted to put the enemy on blast because some things are going on in the pews in the church that we're not talking about. And maybe if we was talking about it, I would have known what was happening, and dealt with it better. And so I wanted to put the enemy on blast, and I wanted to definitely give God his glory for his great grace and how he kept me and how he does work all things together for your good. And I really wanted to help people who were going through seduction and don't realize what it is, because I didn't know, didn't know the enemy could come at me like this. And I thought it was very unfair. It hurt. It was like the darkest thing I'd ever experienced in my life. Because it taught me too. It taught me grace. It taught me mercy. And it taught me that everybody in sin is not there because they want to be.
Right.
And I didn't see that until it happened to me. And sometimes when God is trying to mature you and grow you up in areas, if you're not getting it, God will nudge you. He'll nudge you and he'll tap you hard and be like, okay, I'm trying to teach you some stuff, And in that I realized, and it still took a while, but I realized that I was judgmental and self-righteous, I like I said, when I came to Christ, I wanted to live. I didn't want hypocrisy to be a part of my lifestyle. I wanted to live for God for real, because hypocrisy is the reason I was so unlearned about church, is because I was turned against the church from seeing people be hypocrites. I mean, firsthand. It wasn't something I was just speculating or, just thinking that everybody. No, I saw it firsthand. I saw people go to church in my family every Sunday. And soon as they left the church doors, they were doing whatever they wanted to do in the world, and I knew as a child that wasn't right. And so I was like, I'll just serve God on my own. But when you do that, you don't learn. You don't, faith comes by hearing by the word of God. And so the thing is, God anoints people to teach us and break the word down to us and feed it to us and whatnot. And I wasn't getting that because I was turned against the church. But I love the Lord.
Right.
And so the last thing I wanted to be was a hypocrite. And so to experience this, I knew that I had to fight. This was not something I desired ever. And to be going through something like that, I was just, so I really wanted to help people. And it's funny because once the book was written, a lot of people did, DM me and like, hey, listen, we need to talk or whatever. And it was a blessing to understand that my labor was not in vain. But the person that I think the book helped more than anybody was me. And I didn't see that coming.
Well, see, you did the froze face again. That's what I was like. So, and the reason why I read that part of the book is because you said something that's interesting to me, and it was the fact that the devil has to get God's permission to do whatever he plans or is attempting to do to you. Can you expound on that a little bit?
Well, when it was happening, I knew it wasn't God. I knew that this is not, God, but God, you have to be allowing it if it's happening.
Right.
And I know it's not me, because I never even thought like this. And what I did think about it, I thought it was disgusting. And so when you read the book of Job, and Job is this straight arrow who lives for the Lord, and he has all of these possessions and everything, and the enemy is at God like, well, of course, he living for you like that. You got your hedge of protection around him. Can't nobody touch him. And so I bet you if you allow me to, knock on his door like that, let's see how faithful he is to you then. And so you think about that, and that the enemy is going to come when you profess Christ, and you're diligent to live holy and righteous. You got a target on your back. Now, if you one of those people who confess Christ and you're living how you want to live, he ain't really concerned about you like that. I've seen the enemy come for people who profess Christ, and they stand on the word, and they call stuff out, and and the enemy got them hard, and had I not gone through this, I might have looked at them the same way. But by that time, I had gone through this, and I said, I bet they kicking themselves in the butt, like, how did I get here? Yeah. So the enemy has to get permission from God to touch his children. He can't just come at you like that.
That's deep. That is so deep to me. I'm actually going to do do some reading up on that theory myself, because I've heard a pastor say that before, but it never really dawned on me till like when I read it there. So I was like, wow, he literally has to go to God just to do whatever he plans to do to you. And the thing about it that really has my mind about it is that it's like God just sitting back eating apple, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just yeah.
Well, the thing is, I feel like the enemy know who belongs to God. The enemy know who lives to bring God glory. The enemy is not going after people who are not making, and I'm not saying this to brag about myself. I'm not saying that to brag about myself, but the Bible tells us that many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord will deliver them out of them all. And so what we have to understand that when you live for the Lord, when you give your life to Christ, you are pretty much inviting the enemy to come after you.
Right.
And the harder you go for God, he's really gonna come after you. And it's just like with Saul when he was zealous for God, and he was doing it all wrong, and but he didn't have the trials and tribulations he had after he decided to live right for the Lord and winning all these souls to Christ. And it's funny because when this happened to me and I went to my pastor was like, the enemy wants to destroy your testimony. And I'm thinking, why? What my testimony got to do with anything? Well, my testimony wins souls, because I left this over here. And so, you have this testimony. Nobody has been able to find spot or wrinkle in your testimony. And it hurts so bad, because to me, this was a hard fall. Not that I didn't make any mistakes, but this to me was really bad. And I had to learn to stop walking in condemnation. I had to learn that sin is sin. There is no sin greater than the other. If you told a lie over here, and you're sleeping around over here, sin is sin. You broke one of the laws, you broke them all. So and so I had to learn. It was helping me to learn how God sees us, because I was thinking my own ways, and God's like, I'm trying to get you to see that's not how I work. You're over here walking in condemnation and, thinking you about to bust hell wide open when, that's not how I see you, but at the same time, I don't want the blood of Christ, and God's grace to be abused just because he covers me. My heart is to live holy and righteous for God.
Right.
And when I found myself there, every day, I don't cuss. I'm not a cusser, but every day, this was my thought every day. What the hell? Every day, this little thought in my mind every day when I woke up. What the hell? I cannot believe this. And so yeah.
So now I'm gonna ask you this because this is something that might can help me now. I know I got a testimony, and I know you're not supposed to hold on to your testimony, but me being in my human ways, I'm still holding on to it. Now, do you think it's better to give your testimony when you're going through, or when or once you done came through the testimony and everything's a whole lot better?
It all depends on.
I'm seeking this answer for me personally, coming from you, knowing that you.
Oh, it ain't like I would get on stage and talk about this while I was going through it, because I'm still working through it. Right. And at that time, I was still working through it. So no, what God gave me wisdom to go to 2 people. And those people were very mature saints. And one was my pastor, and one was a friend that I actually had just met not long before that. But if you read the story, you know who she is. But I had to. I knew. See, a lot of times people, they get caught up in things, and they're too embarrassed to go to anybody. And even if they do go to somebody, they're not very honest about what's really going on.
Right.
I wanted out so bad that, and I knew that, girl, first of all, you gotta tell your pastor what's going on. If you don't, the enemy's gonna have a field day with you. I knew that. And so the Bible tells us we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. Okay. And so you have to, first of all, you have to go to somebody that you can confide in, who is mature enough to hear whatever it is, how hard or how bad it is, and not judge you and love you through it. Because I didn't expect that from these 2 people. I expected to be rebuked. I expected to be, dealt with harshly. And that's not what happened at all. But it also showed me where I was wrong in dealing with people when I saw they had fallen, and I realized, wait a minute, you're not rebuking me, you're not putting me down, this ain't how I deal with people when I know that they've sinned. And yeah, that's the problem. That's where we need to grow up, because that's not the heart of Christ.
See, I did my testimony in joke form, and I think only one person at the end of the night. I actually did a show for my church, and this is right after COVID, and I was doing it in joke form because for me that's how I get through everything. And I was being totally serious, but it was coming off to everybody else as a joke. But I think there's only one person at the end of the day came up and said something to me. That they actually knew that it was deeper than a joke.
Wow.
And so, and like I said, that's my struggle, is to tell everybody because I'm still waiting on the end result. But maybe I'm wrong for waiting on the end result to talk about the end result, because I'm still waiting for the end result. You get what I'm saying? I would have to tell you this personally. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, you would definitely have to tell me personally. Hopefully the book helps you too. Because it's for that. It's for those hard testimonies. And for those people who are stuck in situations that they're like, okay, I don't know how I got here, or maybe some do know how they got there, but they know that they don't want to be there anymore. And I pray for people to be more mature, that when people come to them and need to uh, lay stuff out to say, hey, I'm going through this, I'm dealing with this, or whatever, that you don't judge them and you don't put them down or beat them up, make them feel worse, but that you pray with them and you love them through whatever they're going through to help them get through it. Not that you would ever condone any wrong or anything like that, or tell them to take their time, they got time, no, none of that. We want to live our lives to please God every day. And so I pray that we can be more mature saints, because people are out here dying, going to church, and dying on the inside because they don't have anybody to talk to, because they're afraid of being judged, and the book, it's like, okay, this could be career suicide, because people gonna look at you sideways. I'm one who understands you have to count up the cost before you make big decisions.
Well, mine's not crazy. It's just mine. I know would help folks. I just, for some reason, I just don't want to share it. I don't know why.
But you said you shared it on stage.
Yeah, because I was you know how sometimes you're on stage, it just clicked in my head to do it and joke, because I wanted to talk about it some kind of way.
Mm-hmm. But you're not over it yet. You're not past it yet.
No, I'm not. I mean, it's way better. I'll talk to you before we get off here. I'll talk to you about it.
Okay.
Once we log off or whatever. So if somebody wanted to get the book, graciously broken, wonderfully restored, where can they go purchase the book?
They can go to Amazon. I'm not really making no money off Amazon, so I'm actually in the process of rewriting and doing the book over. So I don't really advertise it like that, but I still think it's a great book, and I think it will help a lot of people, and that's what I wrote it for, because I felt like, man, if this happened to me, who else is dealing with stuff that the enemy done came at them sideways with, that they didn't realize what had happened, because when it happened, I'm like, what in the world, and then I realized, wait a minute, this is spiritual warfare. This is seduction, because I didn't ask for this.
Right.
Not in any way, shape, or form. Never even thought it, never thought twice about entertaining nothing like that. So, to this day, I still think it's the craziest thing, but, God allowed it, but he protected me. He kept me. And, in my walk with the Lord, I had to ramp up everything I was doing. I had to read the Bible more, wake up earlier to pray, and, crying and snotting and everything. But no, devil, you wasn't going to get me. This wasn't happening. So,
man, it was so amazing having you talk to your fake best friend today. It was so amazing, man. This is great. It's always cool kicking with you. I'm gonna tell everybody my one good chocolate memory that I got when we did the show in Texas at whatever that big church was in Texas for the CCA that year.
Yeah.
And you was backstage pacing. And you said you were so nervous. Then I said I'm not nervous. I don't get nervous. And you like hit me in my arm. It was like, I know you nervous. I know. And I was like, no, I ain't nervous. But for me, y'all was back there eating all those chicken wings, and I can't eat before I go on stage.
No, so, I don't eat before I go on stage.
Yeah, I couldn't eat, and that's why I remember telling you, I was like, man, I ain't nervous. I'm ready to eat. I'm hungry, and I can't eat before I go on stage. So that's why I don't have no nerves. But
No, that's why I don't eat because my nerves be tore up. And then if I eat something, it's going to make me nauseous and I don't need that. But I've learned to channel my nervous energy. So, yeah.
So if somebody want to book you, you know what I'm saying? How can they get in contact with you? Or put all your social media info out there so people can get in contact with you.
They can contact me through social media, hit my Facebook page. I'm Still Chocolate, Facebook, IG, Twitter, whatever. Yeah, they can hit me up.
Let me shout out a few more people before we get out here. We got Willie Brown came on and said Willie Brown said he loved this.
Willie Brown, kiss my dude for me.
Dale Sterling, I don't know, microphone, thumbs up, microphone, clapping, crying. I don't know what that said. I don't know what they translate into. And June said she's already registered for the conference. She can't wait.
Awesome.
And we're both Kentucky Wildcat fans. She said, "Go Cats." That's right. So, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate having you on here. So don't click off yet. I'm going to talk to you for a second because I got another Zoom to do like 9:25. So I appreciate everybody for coming on, man. Y'all join me next week when I think Comedian Coy is going to be my guest next week. He's going to talk about his game show. So we're going to do that. And man, I said, y'all make sure y'all go out and get the book, Gracefully Broken, Wonderfully Restored. And the voice you hear on the audio, that's me. So no, if you want to do audio, I know a lady that does great. If you want to do audio book, I know a lady that
when I redo it, I'm gonna do all of that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. So make sure y'all check us out next Monday, 8 p.m. right here on Comic Talk on Facebook Live. We're on Twitch, and we're also on YouTube. But don't go off, Chocolate. I'm gonna come right back to you.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Comic Talk. They're funny to me. Comic Talk. They're funny to me. Comic Talk. They're funny to me. Comic Talk. They're funny to me.